heard someone singing beautifully. He was ex-Indian Idol. That's why I say everybody deserves a second chance.
We are talking about Arvind Kejriwal. He's the Chief Minister of our state.
For me, he is an inmate, that's it.
Welcome to PTI on our show at 4 Parliament Street. Today on the show, we have Mr. Sanjay Baniwal, the Director General of Prisons of Delhi. Among the prisons in Mr. Baniwal's jurisdiction is the Tihar Jail, a name synonymous with many high-profile inmates, ranging from Charles Sobraj to the latest one, Delhi Chief Minister Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. Mr. Baniwal, an IPS officer of 1989 batch, is due to retire at the end of this month. We will ask Mr. Baniwal to look back on his career and tell us what it is like to run the Tihar Jail. Mr. Baniwal, welcome to the show.
It's my honor to be here among all of you.
You know, Tihar Jail is infamous and famous for many reasons. And I can't imagine what it must be like to be a prisoner. I've never been in a prison. So,
Good.
yet.
Good.
So, tell me, a person who goes to prison, maybe not a hardened criminal, not someone who has been there several times, but someone who goes to prison for the first time, how does prison life change that person internally? It must be completely soul-sapping to be incarcerated. And the second part is, how does it change the jailer?
Wow. It is like almost writing my entire life story in one sentence, sir. I'll attempt it, sir.
Yeah.
Actually, when you go to prison, it's not the kind of photos you see someone behind bars. It's far more. It's far deeper and has a lifetime changing impact on you. So when you come to jail, you're stripped of your personality totally. You lose. You begin to wonder, who am I? मेरी वक़्त क्या है, मेरी औकात क्या है और मेरी पहचान क्या है? You don't wear the clothes that you normally wear at home. You don't live the way you live at home. You don't smell the way you smelled at home. You don't see the people that you normally see. I mean, every milestone that you have of normalcy around you is demolished, removed from your life. So you're stripped totally of any of your personality, so-called traits that we say. We strip you down to your soul, and your whole personality is reduced to ashes. It comes in almost every inmate's life, so it takes about, depending upon person to person, sometime a month, sometime 3 months, maybe 6 months, but it does change you for good. There was a lady from a terrorist organization. She wrote me a letter saying, when I came here, I was angry because radicalization does make you a different person. She was angry at almost everything. So there will be a lot of fights, there will be a lot of complaints, shrieking, the normal behavior. And then she said, I picked up weaving. So when I completed a scarf, woolen scarf, she said, I was stunned. I could create something beautiful. That creation, that was the turning point for that woman. She says, when I created it, and one of the inmates, they bought it. She says, I felt very good from within that I'm worth something. And when she wore it, she said, I have arrived. And that changed her. How it has changed me or others? It's a very humbling experience, because in jail, you get to see the entire gamut of human emotions in their complete nakedness. You see stark human emotion. You see anger, jealousy, desperation, frustration, displacement of anger at someone, then resigning, accepting, and then doing something positive, empathizing. Finally, when you start comforting the fellow prisoners that things will become better from here on. You're giving support to someone when you're seeking yourself a few months ago. It changes you. So when I see this thing happening, when I meet my inmates regularly, it changes me. It has made me more settled. Sir, I'm more happier within my own skin, and I'm more at peace with myself. So yes, jail is a wonderful experience, I would say.
In a way, is it like an ashram where people become better?
Yes, it is actually. It gives you so much of time to think about. Introspect. And one of our very famous inmates, I won't name, he said, if I don't get out soon, I'll become a sadhu because I'm entering into deep meditation nowadays. I said, well, that's how your journey is going to be.
Tihar is known as one of the Asia's biggest prison. At the same time, it is also known as one of the most overcrowded.
Yes.
If you can say what are the plans to reduce overcrowding and also build modern jails like one I believe is being built at Narela?
I don't know how to answer this question because how much is how much? How much would you like to, there will always be overcrowding because there will always be people committing offenses and we'll be arresting them, keeping them in jails. Right or wrong, I can't comment because that's something judiciary about it. But my point is, let's say Narela jail is going to cost me something around 170 crores for about 250 odd inmates. It's expensive proposition. There was a Vikas who was arrested in July once in a year for stealing 300 rupees in pickpocketing. Okay, and he was he accepted his guilt in the court and he was released in about 5 months. I'm spending almost 800 rupees per person per day. That means about 24,000 rupees per month. For that 300 rupees punishment, I spent your money costing almost 1,25,000 to me. Is it right? That's a question that we need to ask. Is there a better way of punishing those who are delinquent? I think Honorable Supreme Court has been deliberating on it in a series of judgments. They have been asking the legislation and the executives to go in that direction. You can build as many jails as you want. They'll always be overcrowded. So you have to start thinking differently. Maybe I'll ask you a question. For example, a woman, you put her in jail. She has 2 kids. One is 5 years and one is 7 years. The 5-year kid is allowed to go with her in the jail, and 7 years is not. What happens to her or him? And what is the fault of that 5-year-old kid to stay in an environment so oppressive as jail? I don't think that's a good thing. So maybe, yeah, this is the way we have been doing it, but is it the way we should do it? It's time that there should be a healthy debate on, is there a better way of doing things? So overcrowding, yes, there are many, and government jails, courts are very, very proactive about getting people out. But the point is, it needs to have an impact on the ground. But we still have little more people coming in than going out almost every year. So we have a population increasing every year. So you can make 10 jails more. By the 11th year, they'll be also overcrowded. You can make 20. So you've got to think differently. And there are ways differently. There are examples. Many countries have experimented different ways of incarcerating. Maybe there's a time to look at them also. People are thinking, maybe we need to make new laws. Maybe we may need to make new processes. We got to do something different. It's not working actually. Why it's not working? Because we still have recidivism of 40%. That's very high. If it is such a reformative thing, people not should come back, but they are coming back for whatever reasons. But they are coming back. So overcrowding is not getting reduced because of many factors. So building jail is not the answer. It's not the answer. It is answer, but not the only and the correct answer. We got to have a different approach. That's what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah, Punjab Chief Minister met Delhi CM today. So
Yeah.
after the meeting, he alleged that Delhi CM is being treated like a hardcore criminal. So what is your comment?
My comments? There is no distinction between hardcore and a normal criminal, let's say. In jail manual, which is passed by the government of Delhi, right? There is no distinction between inmates. Every inmates have certain basic rights, which is my duty to ensure, and they are being ensured for everyone, right? Nobody is accorded a special treatment. And who is to be accorded a there is no provision. There are discretionary powers when something is required, yes. But I have 20,000 inmates at any given day, and there are thousands of people coming to meet them. They are meeting them every day in the way everyone is meeting. There is never a single complaint. So I don't see any reason to be different for A and B, when then where does it end? Secondly, somebody was saying about the health and other things. My point is, you take any ailment, out of 20,000, I mean 5%, 6% population will always be affected by it. You take it hypertension, you take it sugar, you take it underweight, you take it overweight, you take heart issues, you take asthma, you take drug issues. I have horde of people, and we have a fantastic medical hospital, de-addiction center, and dispensaries, and the psychologist, we have otherwise how will I run it? So we have a well-oiled thing. So we do take care of everyone as everyone. For me, see, jail is not just about the one you named or few whom you didn't name, or Kala Jathiri or Lawrence Bishnoi. My jail is about the bulk of the 20,000 people. I got to work for them, and I have to set up system which is accessible in the same manner to everyone. And I think that is the key, and that is what we must stress on.
We are talking about Arvind Kejriwal, right? He's a VIP, as we know that he's the chief minister of our state, of the Delhi.
For me, he is an inmate. That's it. We don't put tags. That's what I'm trying to say. We don't.
Okay.
We don't. There are only two kinds of inmates. One is an inmate, and another is high risk security inmates. Correct. Which are put in high security wards because either they are threat to others or others are threat to them. Either way. Okay. So we don't want violence like we all experienced last year, and it was horrific.
Yeah.
But it does happen because we have, as I told you earlier, you see entire human action, emotions in their entirety, in 360-degree sphere, spherical, nothing is missed out there. So we don't put tags like that. So for me, an inmate is inmate, and let's keep it at that.
So if the inmate is high profile, so is there any kind of chance of any kind of difference or anything? If they want, they ask, there is only way that they can come with the court orders or something like that?
That's true. That is true. See, okay, fine. Let's say one of the prisoners, inmates, has severe arthritis, right? Let's say, for example, he can't get up and go for the bathroom, or can't do his normal work. I'll have to give him a helper. If that is giving an extra privilege, according to my definition, it's not, because it is required to maintain a certain standard of health and hygiene. This is human dignity, correct? Now, on the other hand, if I give him a person to massage his head because he pleases it, then that's not on. We don't. That's not acceptable. So, in case if health or like you want to study, and you are appearing in exams, of course you will be given certain permission to appear in the exam, to go to a certain place and appear in the exam. Or if let's say you have a toothache and you need to be examined by RML doctor, we will send you. I mean, as long as concerning health or our journal working, yes. we have no objections there, but there is no concessions per se. Only is the security and health. These are the two aspects on which we do distinguish sometimes about their housing. Housing mein there is, like for example, if there are two brothers in a particular crime from a family, we like to keep them together because it's important to make sure that inmate has or maintains family ties, because once he goes out, he has to be integrated back. So family ties, even the meetings are supposed to be family related, to maintain the family and friendship ties. Yeah.
Curious to know that what does the day of a prisoner like Delhi CM Arvind Kejriwal look like in a jail like Tihar?
Like any other normal inmate. He does his own work. He is attended by doctors as and when required, which like everyone else. He meets his lawyers at the designated time, at the designated place, for the designated period. He is expected to, and he does sign papers relating to his cases, जो वकालतनामा वगैरह हम बोलते हैं. There's a technical word, but legal papers relating to his case, yes. He talks to his family about his family matters every day, 5 minutes, like every other inmate. He meets his family, 10 members, 2 people twice a week, with two people in both the meetings for half an hour. That's there for everybody, and that's there for him also. He is expected to keep his cell in order, do nothing illegal, and he's like a normal prisoner. He eats his own meal, does some walk, keeps healthy, does some yoga.
Normal.
Normal. He's like a normal person.
But a common prisoner is not allowed home food every day.
Yes.
Is it? But
no, it's not allowed at all.
But Mr. Kejriwal is because of Supreme Court.
Because of the court's order. Now, since it's a judicial custody, obviously court orders does take precedence. If I am disagreeable, I can always appeal to the court against the orders, and they will take into consideration and pass appropriate orders one way or the other.
Sure.
We do sometimes we don't. If it's a matter of his health.
I guess that he's not required to work going by the jail.
Nobody is required to work unless you are a convict. He's in under trial, by the way. He's not convict. So convict can be asked to work, for which they'll be paid. Under trial prisoners have a choice to whether they want to work or not, and whether it's a volunteer work or it's a paid work. If it is paid work, they are paid. You'll be surprised. We have many factories running inside. The entire bread, biscuits, namkeen, all the spices, cooking oil, mustard ka. We make the best cooking oil in Delhi, I would say. Then we have a fantastic weaving section where we weave bed sheets, bed covers, saris, stoles, jacket, jute and cotton jacket materials, hand woven. We have a hand weaving apparatus, many. And they all learn and earn, and those products are sold off. And once they go out, they can continue this profession. That's the whole beauty of it. So there is bulb repairing, there is a painting, there is carpentry. My entire office furniture is made in so you can work in many of the things, and each inmate, once they work, gets about 10,000 rupees per month, which they can send to their family. And many of the families of the inmates manage to pass their month because of this income. So it's your choice. If he wants to work, it's fine. If he doesn't, I'm fine.
What if one inmate, whom we shall not name, says he wants to work at running the government of Delhi?
That's not my work. That's not the work that prison does. Whatever we do, yes. I told you many of the things that we do there. He can give legal advice to the inmates. He can help them prepare their brief for the press, court. He can help them prepare their cases. He can help them with the counseling, with psychology. You can do a lot of things he can do gardening, which we do inside. He can grow plants.
Has he requested for any voluntary work in Kejriwal?
No, he has not.
Yes,
He has not.
He is,
Sanjay-
I think, recovering his health.
Yeah.
Wait.
So his parameters are becoming better, stable हो रहे हैं ज़्यादा. So I believe maybe whatever exercises or whatever he's doing is doing good for him. He looks healthier.
संजय, एक क्वेश्चन है कि मैंने कभी अंग्रेज़ों के ज़माने का जेलर तो देखा नहीं है. मॉडर्न ज़माने का जेलर मेरे सामने बैठा हुआ है. You mentioned earlier that building new prisons is not really the solution.
Yes.
There are other out-of-the-box thinking is required.
Correct.
Would privatization of jails like it happens in the US and Europe, or open jails, is that one of the solutions, or can you just elaborate on the other possibilities?
See, there are various ways. For example, two of the things that you all would have heard, but just connect the dots, I'm asking. The current Model Prison Act does provide a provision for putting the anklets for tracking the movements
Yes.
of those who are released on furlough and all. Why can't we do the same for those who are coming in? Like Mr. Arnesh's judgment does speak about not to arrest people for certain offences. They certainly can be, you can geofence their movement within their home, court and their workplaces. That way, you are still keeping a person more productive and less burden. I mean, it's my way of thinking. I could be very wrong, but this is my personal view. Then maybe we need to look at under Trial Prisoner Act also a little more better, so that the radicalization and the formation of gangs inside the prisons, there's a challenge for all of us. We need to rework our strategy with the current realities.
So,
And that's it.
is the electronic tagging something that you have proposed to the central government, or?
No, my proposal, yes, we do. There is always, we keep having discussion on a number of issues.
Okay.
This also, jamming, how to provide better jamming solutions, and this tagging also, because it's already provided in the Model Prison Act,
Okay.
which is put forward. Now it's for the states to implement it.
Okay.
What I'm trying to say is, it's an idea which has already come into public realm. So getting it into physicality is just a matter of time. We are moving, this is a step in the right direction. Let's see how and when, in what manner. Like for example, I was talking to my French counterpart in France. They had this provision of anklets of, soft criminals, hardened criminals. Their movement is monitored every minute, not in jail, but they're outside. But their movements are monitored. Especially stalkers. Their stalking is a big offense.
Yeah.
So stalkers, I mean, suppose you are barred. I'm barred coming within 1 meter of yours. So they make me wear kind of an anklet,
Okay.
so that the moment I come within 1 meter,
Then
I'll
you
be
can-
notified, and then subsequent action. That country needed that kind of thing. They have implemented it. We have, as a society, as a country, we'll have to decide what suits us. What is it that we are ready to do, and to what extent? But solutions are there. We are going in the right direction. Let's see.
What about privatization of prisons?
I don't know. It's America thinks differently. It's a sovereign duty. I don't know. We'll be ready to give it up to privatization, because even despite privatization, US prisons are pretty overcrowded.
Yes.
The number of arrests per lakh people in US is far more than India. I don't think we're ever going to catch it, despite their having less population.
Yes.
So it's absolutely the way country is governed, or the society, or
Sure.
whatever they want to do.
Sure.
We keep hearing about special privileges being extended to some people like Sukesh or Subrata Roy. How true are those when we hear such reports?
Yes, we give special privileges to him to the extent I have to change guard on him every few weeks, so that he, he is the minuscule variety who are difficult to mend their ways. There is a lot of introspection required. There are some people who blame others for the fact that they are there rather than for themselves. See, this introspection, acceptance of guilt, your part in the events that led you to be here. You can blame 10 people, but you always is responsible. And that is a actually major part of my work, which comes under correctional administration. We work actually very hard to change your emotional footprint and mental vibrations. And I have seen when people do, we conduct every week in every jail, there are spiritual discourses and meditation and other things. I mean, targeted exercises are done wherein they are dragged there by force, literally, but by the end of the week they're crying. They write, मुझे बड़ा दुख है कि मेरी इस हरकत से मेरी पत्नी को का मान सम्मान को ठेस पहुंची, मेरे परिवार को हमारे समाज में नीचा देखना पड़ा. He murdered somebody. I want to be like a butterfly, to spend happiness, to be free and spread colors. Now after going, see, one of the sessions के बाद में he wrote कि now I'll do 3 things. I'll select good friends. I'll earn well, and I'll make sure I'll not do anything, and I'll do everything that will make my wife and my family happy. Now, here is the person at least whose emotional imprint has changed. He cannot go back to do the same things if we handle him after release. So I'm planning to start an after release care center where we will follow up. Are you all right? Because once you go back, you do have a problem of अब मैं क्या करूं? अभी तक तो मेरी लाइफ बहुत regulated थी, so depression comes in. There are chances of de-addiction, addiction also.
Sir, in your time, who's the most interesting inmate you've met? One normal and other VIP or so-called high-risk inmate?
Once I went to a jail, and I heard there was kind of a function, like 15th August or 26th, some of the national functions that we have. We do celebrate, even Holi for that matter, Eid also, all are done, because we don't want them to go away from reality. We try to normalize their life as much as possible. There are many people who have no visitors at all. Let's say someone is from Nagaland and their family is poor, who will come to meet them here? So we have a Sparsh organization, and a Sparsh scheme in which we go and hug them. Human touch is so important. And give them, even if it's a soap dish, even if it's maybe a sweater during the winters, or maybe fresh undergarments, for example, it's a small gift. That goes a long way in settling them. You got to see those video clips to realize what I'm saying. Aapko abhi nahi hoga because you have never experienced that. So when I went there, I heard someone singing beautifully, and I realized, is it recorded? They said, no, it's one of our inmates singing. I said, I just would like to meet him. And when I met him, he was ex-Indian Idol, am I right? Where
Indian Idol, yes.
He was the next fairly senior level pe pahunch gaye the. But then, as they have a party culture and they have a drug culture. So he got embroiled in the NDPS Act, and so he was languishing in the jails for long. Such an interesting guy, from a very humble background, working hard, rising there, and then landing here because he took one wrong decision. And that's why I say everybody deserves a second chance. One wrong decision should not define your entire life. It can take you back, but it should not deny you the rebirth again. So that was a very interesting part for me. Then there was another who was a hotelier here in Delhi, and he again took a wrong decision. When you don't value your value system and overstep, he got involved in a murder case and landed here. From a high, what do you call it, high society, high profile parties animal, from a rich person, well known across the political and stardom thing, landing in jail. And he was serving me food that day because he was an inmate. He teaches, now he's taken up the role of teaching the inmates how to enter the food and beverages industry. And I asked him, okay, how do you feel? You used to run a full hotel where you had such people, and why are you serving? There's no reason for you to. He says, no. This place has taught me to be humble again. I'm going to keep coming back here, even if just requesting you, let me come back and do some work for the other inmates. But he says, serving you people tells me what I did wrong, and I'm never going to do that again. So it's a humbling thing. I don't want to name him here, a very well-known hotelier. And he says, you can see the change in that person. For me, he is really a winner. He has fought, he had everything, he lost everything, and now he had made a lot of his own life. I believe he is far happier a person today, and he says this, okay, I'm so thankful to God that I got to come here and reset my life. So these are the kind of, I find them more interesting rather than meeting some well-known people.
Have you interacted with Mr. Kejriwal?
No, no reason to.
No, there's no need to.
No reason to. I mean, I have not done so. How I meet people is, I do meet inmates on a regular basis. I go to jail and for example, I go once in 15 days. So whatever their grievances, I take them with me. So all of them sit with me, we all sit together, it's just me and them, and I hear their problems out. That in itself is therapeutic. So sometimes they say, sir, हमें पता है आप हमारा हल नहीं कर पाएंगे. मैं उनको जेल से बाहर तो भेज नहीं सकते. हमें पता है you can't find a solution. But at least आपने सुन तो लिया. You treated us like a person and not like someone who has no existence. So that's what I try to give them. No, you are a human being first, an inmate later. You are. You have a whole life of which being an inmate is a very small part. It doesn't define the entire canvas of your life. So I give them the dignity, and it makes a difference. It gives them some moment of happiness and peace. So when I meet there, if he wants to meet me, whoever wants to meet me is most welcome. But I don't go to people's cell and meet people. That's not my way of working.
So my question stems from what you said just now. That this high octane environment, atmosphere throughout. So what kind of psychological toll does it take on a person who's handling prisons? Do you think there should be a preparedness and training prior to joining prisons?
Yes.
As official.
Yes.
Second part is, कभी ऐसा आपको लगा कि यार बहुत हो गया, मतलब is enough, can't do anything about it, let's chuck it. Third part is, any step or reform which you introduced or took which impacted some inmate in front of you and you saw his or her life change? So any anecdote would be nice.
Sure. A lot. In the sense, there are many a times when I get up late in the night from deep sleep and I realize I'm thinking of some problem which I have to file in court, or that issue is likely to crop up into a law and order issue inside. What I'm going to do to make sure that the situation doesn't come to a tipping point. So there are many times when I wake up in night thinking about these problems. So it does have an impact on you psychologically, which comes on your physiology also. At times we tend to have acute backaches, acute headaches, knee pains. These are physical exhibitions of the stress that comes with the job. And invariably those officers who are above 40, 45 have a little bigger percentage of people having the same problem than outside. So inside does have a toll on you physically, mentally and emotionally, definitely. So all of them needs a better training during and before, both in terms of psychological and stress, de-stressing and stress management. So 1 week of training of my meditation and other things is reserved for the prison staff also, because even they undergo a lot. Imagine someone coming outside your home and firing because his boss is housed inside and he is asking for certain favors and you are denying it. What kind of impact will it have on you and your family? They have done nothing wrong, but they are impacted. So it's not easy, it's actually walking a very tight rope, and there is every chance of falling this way or that way. So it's very, very tough. About something that I have done which impacted mostly on the corrective administration side is a skilling program we have started big time. Urban Development Ministry sanctioned us training training partners to train 1,000 inmates in hospitality sector. So I had then Max Hospital also got 1,200 nursing assistant, those changes bed sheets and cleans rooms, those for them we train them. Even tourism ministry is also asking us to train manpower in that. People acquire a lot of skills, so we are going to give them a certificates, a sense of identity again. So what changes? The hospitality sector, there is a sector skill council by the government of India. All top hotel CEOs are there. They came over and said, we are scared to hire them. What impact will it have? I said, who's asking you to post them in the front desk? But there are 1,001 ancillary work. Meet them, assess their work, and then make a decision. Don't prejudge. And when they went, sat down in the classes, even I was surprised when I attended. Half of the things I didn't know. I'm a teetotaler, so I didn't know what a cocktail or some mojito. Some mixture of drinks. They knew it. They were taught. So he was answering like a pro. One of the inmates. I was very proud, like a father. They came back and they said, we are ready to hire them. And they held job melas inside, and they gave offers to almost 700 people. For me, when they got out, they will get the jobs. If they have got out then, they were hired already. But here, you are telling someone you are worth something for me to invest my time in you, for something for me to trust you. And that's huge, sir. That's huge. You should see the look, how it changes on their face. The smile, the twinkle in the eyes says it all. That makes working in such a morbid organization worth it. Trust me.
Yeah. Do the inmates, when they look for a job after leaving Tihar or any other prison, do they disclose the fact that they were convicts?
They have to.
So, like in the US, everything is on record. You can easily find out. But in India, is the system so?
Yes, it's already on records. Because whenever somebody hires you, they have to get a police clearance certificate from your native state of wherever you're staying, and there the record is there.
So does the stigma accompany them, or?
Yes, it does. It does. They have difficulty in hiring. That's why I say skilling, empowering them with something which makes them worth it. Is the key. Why just a job? They can be small entrepreneurs. सर दिल्ली 6 का खाना बड़ा मशहूर है, why shouldn't I give them we have designed in fact a fantastic cart and get them a loan. They can start and teach them how to make fantastic Delhi chhe ke pakode or whatever, I mean aloo bed or whatever, and get them a place to sell it legally. Why on earth would they come back to jail if you give them respect, if they can earn, if they can have a control of finances in their life? So if you ask any lawyer, they'll say कि जिनको हम bail कराते हैं वो mostly हमारे यहाँ बैठे रहते हैं कि सर कुछ तो काम दिला दीजिए. Work is and earning is an issue. Getting bail is not cheap. It is expensive. Legal is expensive, even if whichever lawyer, because it takes time. People are involved in it. They also need to have an income. So it's expensive and it's a burden.
You replaced your predecessor. He was accused by conman, this alleged conman Sukesh Chandrasekhar, of demanding 12 crore as bribe for granting him certain kind of privilege. So you assumed charges in this background. How did you cope up and how did you emerge out of it?
See, the environment was bad because there was lack of trust. People were scared. It was like, house of cards ready to fall apart. So one of my main job was to restore faith in their own capabilities. Tell them that they have inherent strength to carry on with their job, and there is no reason to be hopeless. If you want to take the inmates through the year, you got to be hopeful and confident yourself, only then can you pull it off. So that was one of the challenges for me, and moreover to set the processes in order. So that took time. That work is still in progress. I won't say it's over, because when working environment, work culture, work ethics goes for a 6, it takes a long time to get the whole wheel back on track. It's a Herculean task. So it's still a work in progress, but we are inching towards that slowly, gradually.
How many times he has requested for meeting his alleged girlfriends like Jacqueline Fernandez or Nora Fatehi?
To me?
Yeah.
Or to the jail authorities?
No, never. When I came here, never. मुझसे मिलने की कई बार उन्होंने कोशिश की, but then I am of no interest to him. He requested me to interact with him, but then I have no reason to. As I told you, I don't interact on personal basis with the inmates. I have no business. If I go to his jail and he happens to meet me, fine. I have no problems, but no one-to-one. He does meet his wife by court order, and when there is a law that when there are 2 inmates who are married to each other, for again the family reasons, they are allowed to meet on, I'm forgetting which Saturday, one day in a month. So male goes to the female jail, and there is a special place where all the females and their husbands sit down and meet and talk. That is allowed to him also. So, as I told you, we have no distinction. Everyone is same.
So sir, there was Aam Aadmi Party press conference sometime
Today?
back. Today. So basically they claimed CM will meet 2 ministers every week to review their work, okay, and issue instruction to them. So is it possible? Because they held a press conference on this issue.
Sir, I cross the bridge when it comes and not before. It's a political thing. I am not a political person. I refuse, and I am very clear in that, and I am correct in that. I don't comment on their politics. These are made not for the the correctness of the thing or what the legal status is. They make their statement. They are welcome to it. They are a political party. Fine by me. I have no problems. I know my rules and I am very clear about it. And when it happens, I know what action I can take, and I will take. I have no problems there. Right now, the law is they are not supposed to send a communication outside which is political nature, because when you're meeting somebody, it's family and friends, those ties. I don't know where anything else comes into picture. The only 2 things a person is allowed to sign is their legal papers, wakalatnama ka, or maybe a complaint of non-political nature to the persons or about his situation, or letters to the family members, again from family connections, and that's it.
So,
Or maybe some property papers if you want to sign, like someone is inside and the property needs to be disposed of, then somebody has to sign property papers.
So sir, but
maybe there are some more categories which often I don't recall.
But if Arvind Kejriwal wants to add the names of the ministers,
He has every right to. I can't stop that.
So
who am I to decide who is your friend and who is your family?
So
I'm not.
So he has 10 in numbers, means 10 visitors can come.
He can give 10 names.
Yeah.
Out of those 10 names, 2 family meetings are allowed, in which each time 2 people can come. So in a week, 4 people can meet him. So in a month, 16 people can meet him. You can repeat the format whatever you want to.
Okay.
You can meet in person like a normal person, or you can meet on video like a normal person. आम आदमी की तरह मिलेंगे ना। जो जब भाई 20,000 आदमियों के तो पत्नी पति बेटा बेटी माँ बहन सब आते हैं मिलने, उनको तो किसी को कोई तकलीफ नहीं होती।
Friends and colleagues.
Friends, whoever. As I told you, I'm nobody to decide who is your friend and who is your family.
Yeah.
I mean, I may name in those 10 my wife, may not name my mother. I'm not going to decide on that. It's your call.
There must be a lot of prisoners who are very ideologically driven. For example,
Yes.
People who subscribe to separatism, Kashmiri.
Radicalization is a challenge, I said earlier.
Yeah. So, for example, people like Yasin Malik, do you get a chance to interact with these people and understand, where they come
Yes,
from,
I
or do
have.
they change after spending time in the jail?
I met quite a number of them. As I told you, they are in those 3 sigmas. Let them be. I refuse to waste my precious time and precious resources on transforming, but they are not. They are done. Their die is cast. What bothers is the one who are likely to be and who can be redeemed and saved. That's where my focus is, and that's where our focus should be.
You've held many posts,
Yes.
special commissioner, joint commissioner, lots of posts.
Lots.
Would this be the best job or the worst job?
It's challenging. It's one of the most challenging.
You should have been in the foreign service.
It is challenging. It's one of the most challenging assignments in terms of I'm literally sitting on a cordon, so I don't know. I'm trying to just keep it together. It's a tough call, but then probably I gained the most insight in this job itself. It has given me to understand what what's truly me. There are many things we tend to acquire when we are working because there is no time to introspect when I was in actively pursuing police career. Now coming here, meeting, trying to sit down, it gave me a lot of time to think about myself and what really I need to be doing. And so I told you I'm much happier today within my skin. I'm much healthier today, and I'm far more grateful to God than I was probably earlier. So this job is challenging but very rewarding, I would say.
I see. So it's the best job probably then.
It is.
Yes,
It is.
Yeah.
I would say no post was like this.
Sure.
No post was like
You understand the human mind better now. You understand human beings better.
Better. I have learned to accept shortcomings far more gracefully than earlier.
Does this open the door into politics like many IPS officers have done?
I'm happy. As I told you, I'm happier. No, that doesn't cross my mind. I am who I am, and I'm perfectly fine with it.
So no politics, then what are the plans if no politics?
What are the plans? Oh, good Lord. I have 2 small kids. I'll be the dragon father for them, teaching them. My daughter is in 11th and 10th, so I have about 3 years more of getting after their life. After that, they'll hate me for life, which is all right. And then I will be joining certain organizations which will be working in the social sector, maybe with orphanages and free teaching and we have a kind of a setup in Garmukteshwar. Thinking of joining that, but maybe taking care, teaching, doing whatever I can to whomever I can.
Mr. Baniwal, this has been extremely educational. I learned a lot. I know everyone else learned a lot.
So.
Thank you so much.